was kind of, oh, whoops. I'm going to cut this part out. Whoopsies. That was a spoiler alert.
He's looking at you, kid. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
I'll have what she's having.
Boss will be with you, always.
I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
There was a war. And they're the last ones standing.
I keep reaching for greatness because I'm built from it.
First off, I want to talk about the thing that has the cultural zeitgeist all around us right now. Something that I know people are talking about, whether quality aside, just the fact that we have something back. We have a movie back in the theaters. While most of us may not have been able to see it because theaters are not completely open, a lot of us were able to, and it is on track for a good box office haul, which I completely forgot to get. I'm going to go look at that right now. But in the meantime, Godzilla versus Kong, make sure that we get that all right out there, released today, or I believe March 31st on, which is about 3 days ago, on HBO Max, same day as theaters. Now, some people may not have access to it until, may have gotten it yesterday. They may have gotten it before all of that. But either way, most of us on the panel, besides Malcolm, have seen it. And I'm going to start off by saying, Malcolm, you did not miss really anything too much, and you are completely okay, because I want to make this quick one as quick as possible just to give our quick thoughts on it. And I'm going to designate someone else to start off because I'm going to look at these box office numbers right now. So we're going to start off with the first person who got on the call, and that's Dan. Dan, you had some, well, when we talked about it, you gave me a negative when we talked about it last. So what was that? And tell me a little more about what you think of Kong versus Godzilla versus Kong. Why is it so hard to get the other thing right? Because the G comes before the K.
We like Kong better than Godzilla. That's probably the reason why. Yeah, I'll tell you what. The title basically gives it away. It's Godzilla versus Kong. There's 3 battles in the movie, and they're epic battles. There's some great battling. When these 2 epic characters, apex predators, are battling, it's fantastic. The problem is the people. The people and the most contrived, ridiculous plot you can think of takes up about half the movie. And thank God this is the shortest of the Godzilla and Kong movies in this franchise, because
it flies by.
If this thing went any longer, it would have just been like ridiculous, because it has some of the most ridiculous plot, and the people are so bad. If you didn't need the people, I would wish we could just get rid of the people, but then the movie would be like a half hour of Kong fighting Godzilla in 3 different locations, and you can't have a movie. You could, have Oscar shorts that are a half hour or whatever, but yeah. So I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, just because of the epic battles, and the villain that they battle is really cool, but just everything else is just ridiculous. And you can find my review at disappointmentmedia.com, or no, my bad, from the 4th row at wordpress.com.
I'm not going to take that out. I'm going to leave it right in because we're all natural. But okay, I'm going to give my thoughts real fast. Abe, I know you also have seen it, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts, because I think we all might be in the same boat.
Correct.
Here he goes. Here we go.
Okay, I'll go. Oh, I thought you were.
Yes. No, sorry. Please go ahead.
Okay, this movie is kind of underwhelming, and as Dan said, the human characters are really boring. I did not know what was happening with that plot the whole time. I was like, when is the monkey and the lizard are gonna fight? And everybody's talking about the fights. Everything I see on Twitter, sure, they're good, but I said it last week, and I'll dive with it. This movie lacks scale, and I'm gonna tell you what I mean. When you have these 2 big things fighting, you want to see how massive they are. And you may say, oh, well, they're next to a giant boat or aircraft carrier or a city landscape. Yes, you can have that. Well, the Power Rangers shows also have that. Like, the monsters fighting when they get big, and the Megazord and everything. And they do not look big. This is not shot like a... It's something that, what's the name of the director from Kong Skull Island? and the guy
Ooh.
from Godzilla.
Oh,
I
God.
don't remember their names.
The first one was Gareth Edwards. I know that, but I don't know.
Yeah, Gareth Edwards. That guy knows how to shoot scale. Like when you
He
see
does.
Godzilla, you got the sense of this thing is massive, and I never got that from that film, and why was something I was waiting for. They look like like Power Rangers characters fighting,
Jordan.
and that's the thing that bothered me the most. Sure, it looks cool. The lighting is cool. The sound is cool. The score is pretty fine. Everything looks pretty good. I was excited watching it, but at the end, it never felt cinematic. Never did.
Yeah, I mean,
And something has been bothered me for a while now. And it's the only thing I remember because I don't remember anything from the human characters.
Nope, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Dan, what were you gonna say?
That's my
no, Kong Skull Island director is Jordan Vogt Roberts. No, I agree with Abe. I mean, first of all, why would you have them fighting on the water? That to me doesn't make any sense. You can have these two guys battling on an aircraft. Who come up with that? I mean, to me, that was ridiculous. But whatever.
So now it's time for my thoughts on the matter. And from what you're getting a kind of a consensus of this movie was underwhelming. Is it a bad movie? No, it's an entertaining film. I want to give it its pluses that I think if this was seen in a theater, I would have liked it a lot more because I love those last 30 minutes where it's just complete bananas fun. I think it's actually incredibly well choreographed fights. While they do lack scale, they are inventive, they are fun, they are pretty to look at, and they just scream, wow, this is epic on a scale of just, destruction. It was like I was watching a video game. Is what it was. Like like a kid was playing with his toys, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it was an active choice. And the director did an amazing job trying to portray and come up with inventive ideas that the camera could do, moves that the Godzilla and Kong could find themselves in. And I think every time they were on screen, I was like, okay, this is great. This is awesome. My favorite will always, in this MonsterVerse series, is always going to be the first Godzilla. Is it the best movie ever? No, but there was something about it that you're right, Abe. You had an amazing sense of scale. And there's that one scene where he's in the airport and you see his foot crash that airplane and it just pans up and you see the scale. We never had that in this one. But maybe by that token, they saw, okay, we've set all those up. We know how big they are. We're just going to get right into the action. I wish they took more time. I wish they took time away from the characters because I really did not like any of these characters whatsoever. I didn't. Okay, I take that back. Rebecca Hall and I guess the little girl, is that her daughter? They never really. Was that her daughter?
I think
Did they
she's
say?
one of those Indians from Skull Island. I think they something happened to that race of people, and she was like a little girl from them. I believe. I could be wrong.
I know. I need to look into that, and I need to actually look. Every time that she interacted with Kong, those are the highlights. Every time that the people interacted with the creatures, that was the highlight. I could care less what happens to Alexander Skarsgård and Demian Bichir, everything, who was just a horrible villain. And there is, I'm not going to give away spoilers, but there is some great character designs of certain monsters that we do not see. I think it was really cool designs, and I think it was a very pretty movie to look at. These MonsterVerse movies are always beautiful to look at. They have an amazing color palette. You can look at these and be like, wow, this is shot so well. This is such a wasted opportunity on a story. Why are we with these human characters? Because none of the human characters, I'm not sure. I think the ensemble was too big. I think they took too much time trying to make this a bigger ensemble, which I guess they're trying to bring two stories together. But I just kind of would love it if the little girl was there with Kong and you had maybe Rebecca Hall is there as well. And maybe found an excuse to have Damian Bichir doing his villain thing. But then you brought back Millie Bobby Brown, who is she a conspiracy theorist along with Brian Tyree Henry now? Because I'm over here like, why are we bringing Bleach into this, guys?
And why?
I'm sorry.
What was the point of Kyle Chandler this time around?
No, he was just a walk-on. Yes, Abe?
Was Millie Bobby Brown in the last one, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
she was in the last
You know, that's how much I care about these movies. They have Godzilla and Kong fighting, and I don't remember the people. I remember Kyle Chandler, but was Millie Bobby Brown in the last one? I do not remember.
Oh, yeah.
She was. She was
remember
the
that.
one who was like, we love Godzilla. We stan a king.
And they
She was Cole Chandler's daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, who is it?
So that's why they had Kyle Chandler this time around, because if the little girl is running around with the conspiracy theorist podcaster guy, if a parent is going to be concerned, so we have to have a parent being concerned what happened to his daughter. So basically, but yeah, when they destroyed Fenway Park in the last one, I was not happy. So I'm not happy with the franchise as a whole.
No, I think it's very the franchise that I've seen. It's very there's not a lot of dimension to it. It is very cut and dry. Here it is, which I think is fine. But I feel like it tries to walk that line between that we're trying to say something, but we're also just kind of being a fun. Pick something and figure out what you are. Because looking back now, I love that first Godzilla movie a lot more for what it was, and I think maybe, and I haven't seen, was it a Shin Godzilla? I've not seen that one, but I heard a lot of people say is really good. Dan, you think it's good?
Yeah, it is good. And I'll tell you right now, Manny, I don't remember if I told you this, but definitely check out Godzilla if you haven't on 4K. It's on Vudu. You can buy it in 4K, but rent it for like $4 or $5. Oh my God, it brings so much more light to the regular Godzilla because it was so dark the first time. Now, it's even better than it was back then. And it was good back then, but it wasn't great because of the darkness. Now, if you see the new 4K version of it, oh God, so much better. And how about I love it how the Ken Watanabe character, his son is trying to get revenge for his father died. His father died to save the
Wait, that's his son?
Yeah. He died to save the planet. There's no need for revenge. I don't know why they put that in the plot. The kid
You see, that completely went over my head. See how much attention to detail they gave in this movie? They completely went over my head. There was no emotional development with that character. He was literally a walk-on character. The villain had more. You know how much emotional weight would have been if he was the main guy and felt something? I didn't even remember his name until you just said this right now. That's just kind of sad.
Go ahead.
Yes, Abe.
I believe there's if I'm not mistaken, I read there that there's a whole bunch of storyline about him that was cut from the movie. If I'm not mistaken, I believe I read that.
Maybe we should get a direct cut of this.
These movies need. You know what these movies need? They need character actors. And that's why the first one worked, because Ken Watanabe and Bryan Cranston were there. Sure, Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor Johnson are good at what they do, but they don't have the charisma of a Samuel Jackson or a Bryan Cranston or a Ken Watanabe. It's like you need these people that do not take the work seriously. They're all enough. They've done everything. They want to just have fun shooting movies. And that was Samuel Jackson brought to Skull Island, and that's why I liked it better than most of them.
Or Bradley Whitford in King of the Monsters, which I thought was a really great bit character that he was on there. Like there's little bit people.
You know, like a John Goodman. John Goodman was in the last one, right? Yeah.
Skull Island.
Yeah. Like those types of actors, like they just there for the fun. You don't need these dramatic things. There's two huge things fighting. There's no way that's possible. You know how many calories those things will need to consume just to move an arm?
Yeah, good point.
Like you do not need to take this seriously. Like just have fun with it.
And just go off, Abe. People like, how did Kong grow in size? Well, he was a kid in Kong's Skull Island. This is 30 years later.
Yeah, it said so.
Of course he's going to grow. He's going to grow because he's been eating and whatnot. He's like Abe said, the calories. So you have to keep eating. What are you going to do? You're going to grow. He was just a child in Kong. So of course he's going to grow. But there's also a contrived way he, quote unquote, might grow as well. It's like, really? That's what you're going to do to help get him to grow?
I never thought about that when I was watching. Never thought about that. I was thinking about that like 2 days ago. Did that motherfucker grow?
Yeah, he had to grow because Godzilla is so much bigger than he was in Skull Island.
But I never thought about that. You just take it for granted. Sure, they're gonna fight. They're gonna be almost the same size.
Yeah,
it's just underwhelming. Could have been better. Manning, you're muted.
Yep, I sure am. So what I was going to say is that I'm looking at some of the stuff and I'm reading some of these is that a lot of stuff apparently was cut. Like you had characters that were completely cut. Like Jessica Henwick was in it. Those know her, she's from Iron Fist. Zhang Zai, I can't remember her name. Zhang Zai. She was from King of the Monsters. They cut her completely out. Lance Reddick comes out of nowhere. Apparently he had a bigger part in it as well. I think this shows that a lot of stuff was cut. Why was it cut? I don't know, because you could have this was the shortest one. Easily put in a couple more stuff in here to maybe, I don't know, just give us something more. I feel like it feels like something was missing, and whether that's, it felt like there was, how do I say this? They were in this weird thing where it was too much plot and not enough action in some parts, or they needed more plot and more action, which would make them, they need to either put more on there or take more away. Because there were too much confusing journey to the center of the earth type of stuff. Also, I want to highlight the name of the young deaf girl is Kaylee Hottie, which is, her name is Jaya. Which I think she was the best mainly because she didn't have to, she got to interact with the character, with the actual monsters, which I think that's when the characters they shine, is when they get to interact with them and you get to see all that emotion.